Woo, y'all. Hey. What is this little piece of hair? Let's get that back, back there somewhere. All right. Is it gone? Anyway, hello, everyone. I was having technical difficulties earlier, so y'all forgive me if my phone starts pinging um, from people trying to get on. Um, but yeah, so anyways, y'all, tonight is a different night for me. Simply because I have several things going on within my life, and it's like everything is, all kind of compounding at one time. Um, Forgive me, one moment. Okay, forgive me again. All right. I may have to just send them the replay because they trying to get in, and I want to let them in. I do, or give them the link to get them on. But something happened earlier, and here we are. That's all I got. So let me just start by saying good evening, good evening, good evening. As you know, my name is Angel Tennille, and we are currently in a space of where we are growing with God. And what we do here, all right, y'all, let me get myself together because they really emailing me and I was really trying to respond, but I'm finna have to focus. And like I said, I can send them the replay if needed. But welcome on, welcome on. Tonight we're going to be talking about your temple. Okay, really my temple. Let's talk about that. Really my temple. Um, I was reading Jeremiah chapter 7 this week, and yeah, it was. I had to meditate on it for a moment to kind of really get the message that God was giving to me, and what I pulled from it, and then just kind of going from there. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. But y'all know, before we get started, I want to always go into prayer because we're going to see if I can keep it all together tonight. Because that praise and worship before I got on the call, baby, was fire. You hear me? Fire. But let's go to the Lord in prayer. Lord, I thank you for just today. Thank you for today. Thank you for the energy, the courage, the push through, the obedience. Because I really thought today was Friday and somebody reminded me that I had a call tonight. So thank you for the little reminders. Um, and then, Lord, I was in traffic trying to get home to be situated. So just thank you for the safe travels. Thank you for the word that's about to go forth tonight. As always, Lord, I pray that you decrease all of me, increase all of you, and deliver a word for whoever may see this message or whoever may join tonight. So, Lord, I say, come on in this room, come on in this space. You are welcome in my space every day, all day. So I thank you for what you're doing, what you're about to do, what you have done, and all of the things that you're stopping and pressing pause on and throwing away as well. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me get started. So these and other things I do so thankfully pray for in your mighty son Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, y'all, listen here. So tonight, um, I have a lot of notes, so y'all might see me looking here, looking there, and they just all over, just notes. But I wanted to be able to talk about checking my temple. All right. So when you get some time, go and look in the book of Jeremiah, go to chapter 7. And I only did verses 1 through 30 when all of this was really coming to me. So if I can just talk about it, Jeremiah was sent to the temple, right? But God really wasn't addressing what was the condition of the people, right? Or he was really addressing what was the condition of the people. So when you're reading that and it's talking about the temple and what he was talking about, it wasn't talking about all of this in the buildings and the structural foundation. He was talking about the condition of the people. And today, we are the temple. All right. So I was thinking and reading and thinking and reading and pondering and y'all know all of the words. But God told Jeremiah to stand at the temple gate and say, don't trust in deceptive words, sayings, this is the temple of the Lord. In other words, just because you go to church, just because you say believe, just because something looks holy, does not mean that it actually honors God. Y'all, that took me down through there. Okay. That took me down through there. Uh, because of the people, they were showing up to worship, but living wild outside of that worship space, right? They were oppressing others, living in sin, and then running back to the temple like they were covered. And God was like, you treating my house like a hideout, not a holy place. So then I said, okay, Lord, well, let's get into it. As I started reading, the two things that fell in my spirit was my body and my home, right? My body and my home. And, I have, put on some undesired pounds, and um, and my house is still not the way I desire it to be. And so then I started running down these little rabbit holes, and I was like, Lord, I've been putting everything else even before me, and I say it, and I say it, and I say it, but still, when somebody else say they need something, I show up for them. And so my prayer has been, Lord, allow me to show up for me. And when I think about it in a space that, you know, this is the temple that God gave me. If I take care of my temple, I'm really taking care of God's temple because I'm His, if that makes sense. So that put a different spin on it. But it came down to me to say, my first point for tonight is your body is your temple, right? Or your body is a temple. So God is basically saying what's happening inside of your temple when nobody sees it. Not just how you look, because that's how, I was feeling. I was like, oh, Lord, I got to slim down. I got all this stuff going on around here. My little edges don't always be laying down. And, this ain't my favorite hairstyle today, but this is what we got. We just going to push through it right now. And it's not just how you worship in public. It's not just what you do at church, but what you entertain outside of that space, um, what you allow in, what you repeat. That made me think about songs and different catchphrases and things that we hear all the time, like little slogans like uh I say this all the time, ooh, that about killed me. Baby, trying to throw it out the window. And then what you tolerate, because I tend to have a high tolerance level for things. And the truth is you can't call your body a temple and let anything live there. That's like when I think about what's Luther Vandross song, a chair is still a chair. Don't worry about me. We'll talk about it later. But let's say it's your favorite chair. You ain't finna just let nobody come plop down on your chair. What if they've been outside in the rain? What if, they sitting on the arm of it, messing it up. You ain't just finna let that happen. But you also have to look at it like that with you or with me. Let me just talk about me because I don't want to offend nobody else. And maybe nobody else is going through the things I'm going through. Uh, but that ain't what God told me, but I digress. So I really got into a space. The Lord show me what this means because you gonna make me mess around and be hiding, hide mason jars, and I'm playing y'all, but I just be talking sometimes. Uh, you gonna make me be over here starving because I don't want to eat. And again, I know it's more than how you look and the weight on you. It's about, what you put in you. But if you put in the right things in you, then you will be healthy. That brought me back to who was it that had everybody? He was Daniel when he was eating pretty much just fruits and vegetables, and he wouldn't take the food of I guess the kings and the people along with the kings. So with that being said, he asked to allow certain people to eat the way he was eating, and they outperformed everybody simply by but they was eating less and eating healthier. So that was the first sign that we can do better if we eat better. Right? We can perform better, feel better, all of the things. And I'm talking in circles because y'all, I've been talking about this, but um, I ain't made no moves on it. And then my mother's voice will pop in my mind that apparently I ain't sick and tired of being sick and tired. So my prayers, Lord, help me get sick and tired of being sick and tired so I can do something about it. Because I know what my desire is, but I also know what I may be internally battling with to get to that point. Um, I don't want to be a person that um, showing up at the right place, doing the right things, but my lifestyle or my so don't get comfortable just being you, and don't get comfortable. Well, let me rephrase that. Don't get comfortable just because you're in the building. And now I'm referring more so to church. When you come home, you still got to do more, right? Um, you need to pray. You need to read. You need to show up at church, and still you can do all of those things. Like, or I guess I could say, you can pray. You can read your word. You can show up to church and still be out of alignment. That had me feeling away because I do all of the things. Um, I'm praying, I'm reading my word, I'm showing up to church, I'm doing all of the things, and then it say I could still be out of alignment. Well, wait a minute. So just make sure that you take care of your body. Don't be in a space where you're doing the things just to do it, right? Do the things and mean what you do, right? And then keep God at the center of it. All right. Um, the next part is I was talking about my home is my temple. Um, does your home feel like a place of peace or a place of pressure or chaos? Uh, and it was like, I don't know. Is my home or your home? I'll keep it on me. My home, a place of rest, a place of chaos, a place where God can dwell, or a place where I just crash. The truth is, your home should not just be lived in, it should be guarded. So that's where, you're praying for your covering and the different things that you may have about your home. Um, and even if it's not the home that you want or it's not what you truly desire, I always think about someone told me that, God won't bless you with more. unless you're taking care of what he's already given you. And I was like, that ain't in the Bible. Y'all be making up stuff. Y'all be killing me just using God and throwing up stuff at me. And sure enough, it was in the Bible. It was just worded a little differently, right? It was when the three guys was given I'm gonna say money because I can't think of what it was called at the time, was given money, and two of them went out and made um, a profit out of it, like brought back more than what they was given. And so the master was pleased, if you will. But then there was one that was like, "Ooh, let me take this," and he buried it. And so when it came back, uh, it didn't do anything. It just sat there under the ground. And so it was more of, am I gonna use the things to multiply, or am I just gonna hide what God has given to me? I'm going off a track, so let me try to pull it back in. But that's a whole nother subject that'll talk by itself. But your temple should reflect God and not just host him. Um, they were using the temple in Jeremiah like a stop and go or even a 7-Eleven. Live, however, come back, feel covered and repeat. Mm-mm. God said this is not a hideout for dysfunction. Talk about it. This is supposed to be a place of transformation. And when I first read that, I thought it was the church, right? But then it could be applicable to my house. It could be applicable to me, right? Of being a place of transformation, the home being a place of transformation, of being a place of transformational. My body is not just somewhere God visits. My life should really reflect him daily. And so that was some of the things that I thought about there. And then the other part of the temple was my heart. This is where it got real personal. Um, because the temple in Jeremiah's time wasn't the real issue. The heart was. God was saying, you pray, but your heart is off. You show up, but you're not surrendered. You say my name, but don't follow my ways. The truth is God doesn't dwell in appearances. He dwells in alignment. And I was like, wait, you mean God don't dwell in appearances? So I'm supposed to be out here looking cat raggedy? Y'all know I do too much, right? We already know this. And then I said, okay, that's not it, Angel. Pull it back, pull it back. But it's not always the appearance, but he truly dwells in alignment. So let's talk about how what you allow in your temple and how it affects your heart. Whew. Um, I'll take it back to the last verse that I read, verse 30. That one hit me. I hit me to the point where I was like, okay, you know what? I today that's enough for today. But they were putting things inside the temple that didn't belong. So then I had to ask myself, what am I putting in my temple? What am I putting in my heart? Um, just all the what ifs. What am I? What am I? What am I? Um, and am I pleased with what I'm putting in? Because I mean, we talk about God being pleased and God doing a thing and this, that, and the third, but am I pleased with what was going on? And that was like, well, wait a minute. Am I pleased? I don't know. And that's where I ended up at. Like I don't know. I didn't know. And that's when I was like, okay, I gotta do better with like whether it's my eating, whether it's my I ain't gonna say working out because I can't say that that's gonna be the whole truth and nothing but the truth. But I can't I'm just tell the truth. I wanna say it, but I can't really say that. And mean it wholeheartedly. But what I can say is I thought about the music that I listen to, that's registering in my heart, the things that I allow people to speak to me and that I receive. Um, mm, the people I allow around me. And I thought about that and I was like, well, I can't really control who come in to work and I can't really control, some of that, but ultimately I can't control how long I stay in that space or what I allow myself to receive. So I thought about that and then it's like God was saying, you can pray, but your heart is off. You show up, but you're not surrendered. Is any of this sounding familiar about this one right here? Okay. You say my name, but you don't follow my ways. That thing right there took me through that too. And the truth is God doesn't dwell again in appearances. He dwells in alignment. And then I could look at this as a warning, right? Because I hadn't been feeling my best with my health. I've been working a lot. Um, and I don't know if I've been sharing all of the things because I go through these sessions with God every day, Monday through Friday. Let me be a little bit more specific. And he's been showing me some things that I've been doing. And I'm like, Lord, still? Like, yeah, dog, can you help me in this space? Because apparently I ain't getting it. And then I started thinking about, okay, Lord, what am I consuming? What habits have I normalized? And what thoughts am I letting stay longer than they need to? Because thoughts will come, but they ain't got to stay. They ain't got to linger, right? Um, and that comes with, my body. Then when I think about my home, what is the atmosphere like when I walk in? What am I allowing to play, to sit, and to stay? If I'm upset, what am I allowing to really fester when I really should have just checked it and let it go or addressed it and let it go, right? Um, and I was like, ooh. Then this song came to mind. See if y'all know it. Do 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 do. Okay, I don't know how old y'all are, but it's I got work to do, right? I've got work to do, and I do. So I thought about that, and then I started rolling into my reflection. Y'all know I'm about the reflective moments. So let me ask y'all a couple of questions. What am Well, let me ask you, because I've already worked on it with me. What are you allowing that doesn't belong? I'll wait. You can drop it in the chat. I'll wait. I can tell you some things that I've allowed that doesn't belong. Conversations, habits, energy, people, thoughts. Yes, ma'am, I did. I allowed them in. And then the other question is are you honoring God in your lifestyle or just in moments? And then I was like, okay, whew, Lord, this one right here, this is the thing. And I was like, well, for the most part, hmm for the most part, I think I'm good. And I was like, but the times when I'm not good, so then I started trying to weigh it out. Like, am I more good? Am I more bad? I'm just telling y'all what be happening with me in my thought process. And it wasn't like it was condemnation. It was more of just awareness, again, in my reflective moments. And then the last question is going to be what needs to be removed replaced or realigned. That right there made me feel like I needed to meditate and talk to God more because I'm gonna tell y'all what I did. Yeah, I know I've been talking about getting the house together. I went through and I pulled out, or actually the husband got all the clothes together. We threw them in a pile on the floor and we started sorting them. Give away, donate, trash, sister, friend, whatever, all these bags. And I really felt like I wanted a clean sweep to start all over. And I said, but what are you going to do with a clean sweep? Are you going to fill it back up with stuff? Hmm. I don't know. Hope not. Hopefully, I can be more intentional, right? My desire is to be more intentional. Am I just going to replace what I gave away or tossed away? Because most of us are creatures of habit. Excuse me. I am a creature of habit. I like the same things, the same shades, the same. Most of my stuff resembles, right? I'm attracted to the same types of things. Um, and then when it said realigned, I didn't, I'm not going to say I didn't come up with nothing that I need to realign, but I need to realign my thought process. I used to do all the things, but I got off somewhere. So realigning my thought process, and even if I'm not supposed to be doing the things that I was doing prior to, um, I feel that it will help me be in a better space to where I don't have to come out here and be like, y'all, 3 months later, she's still talking about this house. Or, 3 months later, a whole lot. That's not going to be my story. Thank you, Lord. But just talking through the things, I just wanted to more so tonight talk about check your temple because I had to check mine and I'm still checking it. And it's not uh you check it one time and it's good type situation either, right? It's not one of those things where you can be like, oh well, no worries, no worries. I checked the oil, 3 months ago and I play too much. I checked the oil 3 months ago, but it's good now, so don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. No, it doesn't. It doesn't work like that, boo. Not at all. So what it needs to be more like is, and checking the oil may not have been the best example, but that was the first thing that I thought about when I thought about checking. All right. Let me see something. My posture. Let's talk about that. Checking my posture, making sure that I'm sitting upright constantly because I'm so used to slouching, and not that Well, no, I do. I slouch. But checking my posture a little better. Um, being mindful of prepping for things so I don't crash and do random things. Now I'm speaking more so about eating, preparing my meal prepping. So that way I'm not just grabbing whatever it is, whenever, just to have something to eat. So I don't want to do those things. But what am I doing to not doing? Nothing. And that's a true statement. What am I doing to not do those things? Nothing. So what do I need to do to fix those things? Be more intentional. Those are things we keep these are the words that keep hovering, that keep coming back to me. And I'm like, okay, Lord, am I not getting it right? And then he showed me that sometimes it's not that you're not getting it right, but sometimes people have to hear things more than once and they have to hear them often in order for it to stick. So more than once in order for them to stick, often in order for them to stick. And then that made me think about when you're learning something new, right? You have to do it more than once in order for it to stick. So that's where I ended up at tonight, y'all. That's kind of where I wanted to go, and I'm thinking about what can we do to be more intentional with checking our temple. First of all, think about what's wrong. Ask God to reveal it to you and see what He shows you. That's what I would say. But it looks like it's about 8:35, and I try to be mindful of time. So if you have any prayer requests or anything, go ahead and send those over. You can direct message me for that. But let me go ahead and close us out in prayer, and then we can go from there. All right. So let's go ahead. Lord, I just thank you for tonight's word. I pray that your message went forth and it'll reach who it needs to reach, Lord. I pray that you allow us to do the things, Lord, that we need to do to keep our temple in alignment with you, whether that is our body, our home, or our heart, Lord, and even our mind, because I didn't even talk about that, but that's a whole nother situation. But again, I could just be talking about me. That might not be y'all. But Lord, if there's anything around me or connected to me that doesn't um, honor you, yeah, that doesn't honor you, I ask that you give me the strength to remove it. You give them the strength to remove it. Um, I ask that you give us wisdom to replace whatever it is, and wisdom to know what not to put back in here, as well as the discipline to maintain it. Lord, give us the discipline to hold it there. Let my life reflect you and not just host you. Ooh, let's say that again. Let my life reflect you and not just host you. Thank you for the words, Lord. I thank you for allowing us to have a good night's rest tonight. I thank you for allowing us to be off tomorrow on Good Friday. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So as we prepare to end this call, but never your presence, Lord, I just pray that each one that listens to this message is just blessed. Yeah, just blessed. Lord, give them what they need. Give me what I need. And allow us to be a good example for you. These and other things I do so humbly and prayerfully and thankfully pray for in you and your mighty Son, Jesus' name. And I claim it done and done. Whew. All right, y'all. I am glad that y'all came in. But as y'all know, this is Angel Tennille. We are growing with God, growing with grace, growing with gratitude, growing with all of the things. We just growing and growing. So, but thank y'all. So y'all know what it is. Close out the rest of this week with gratitude, growing with God, and grace. So listen, I'll see you next week. Same time, same place. All right. Bye, y'all. Thanks, Latanya. I appreciate you. I am.